It's the Full Court Press with Eric Franson and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Rose, answer. Yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Eric Franson and Jason Walker here on the Full Court Press. Hope you're having a great Friday, getting ready for the weekend.
Friday kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize it was that way until I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was laying in my bed. I was like, tomorrow's Friday. It's been kind of a long week. Not really in a bad way. It's just taking a while.
Yeah, it's been a weird week, for me at least. I mean, being sick doesn't help.
No, it never does.
Days just kind of blur by. But I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. Try to get this crud behind me. But a lot of different things that are going on this weekend. We've got some things going on tonight. We've got the Utah Jazz in action tonight. Big game in Vivint, Smart Home Arena. And there's only a few more times where we will be able to say that. And it goes back to the old Delta Center.
It's only Vivint Arena nowadays.
Yeah, it's still Vivint.
They don't call it Smart Home Arena.
No, I guess that's true. It's just Vivint Arena.
It was actually a smart decision to do that because everybody thought that was stupid. That or did
too
they
cumbersome.
Did they just change the name of Vivint the company? Because the company was Vivint
question.
Smart Home.
They might have. I don't know.
Because usually they like to throw that branding crap in there, kind of like with the KFC Yum Center, which is probably top 5 dumbest stadium names in sports.
Yum Center. Woo.
No, I know I can't remember who plays there. It's some NBA team.
Oh, isn't that the...
or is it Louisville?
No, it's like Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville's basketball arena. That's what it is. That's just dumb.
It's weird. So Utah State, they are in action tomorrow afternoon. San Jose State coming into town. The Spartans will be here. We'll give a preview of that matchup. There's one game tonight on the Mountain West schedule. It's a doozy. So we'll talk about that. And we had some interesting games last night in Regional 11 boys basketball.
Had some good ones.
And we did. And we got some girls basketball games going on tonight. And our first highlighted girls basketball game of the week will be taking place on Cache Valley Daily and 107.7 KLZX. So a lot of things to get through today here on the Full Court Press. Love to get your interaction as well. Feel free to text in Full Court Press text line 435-339-0321 if you want to chime in. And let's start off talking about high school hoops. We had some games that started a little bit late because we had some exciting JV games, and they were just precursors to the varsity games that we're going to follow.
Yeah, the Logan game that I was calling, we didn't start the Logan game till 7:20, closer to 7:30. Because the pregame's supposed to start at 6:50, and I'm sitting there, I've got all the streams set up, had the, stream starting soon set up, so I don't know how many people were staring at that at 7 o'clock thinking, when's the game going to start?
We started exchanging texts like, are you guys okay?
Yeah, and I was like, JV game. And the JV game was exciting. That thing dang near went to overtime. I think the final score of the Green Canyon-Logan JV game was 52-51. There was some back and forth, some threes hit. It was an exciting game just sitting there I was entertained just sitting there and just waiting for when we could go on. And then we did, and then we proceeded to have a very exciting varsity game. There was a little higher scoring, but it was no less back and forth. So it was just very exciting. You can tell, you watch the replay. It's I was excited the whole dang game.
Well, that wasn't the only one. Bear River and Mountain Crest, there was a delay there because they had a really tight, contested JV game that went a little long. And then they got their game going for the varsity, and that was a close contest, down to the wire. And so Bear River wins that one 55-52. Now, Logan beat Green Canyon 81-76. That was down to the wire, closer than that looked. The only game that was not really that close was the Skyview Ridgeline game, where Skyview just really jumped out. In fact, we've got. I'm just noticing we've got something we need to correct on the story, or the article of the scoreboard.
Oh, what did I do?
Well, it has quarter by quarter. One has Ridgeline, the other says Green Canyon.
Oh, whoops, that's my bad.
So
I copy pasted a previous scoreboard for the format. Hopefully the numbers are okay.
yeah, numbers look like they're correct. I listened to part of that one, and it was a pretty close, first half. But in the first quarter, but second quarter, Ridgeline just was really struck with a lot of turnovers, and Skyview capitalized on it, and that was the difference of the game. That second quarter, everything else was pretty even, but that rash of turnovers, a stretch of a couple of minutes, and Skyview capitalized on of every single one of those, and that proved to be the difference in the game.
And the thing is, we thought this was going to be the headliner, this is the game. And just Skyview is just that good. I don't know what you're going to do with Skyview, because this felt like Ridgeline is the team that's going to stand up to him. Ridgeline is another one that's, a really good team. They've got players up and down the lineup that are good, just like Skyview does. It's like, okay, Ridgeline, maybe they can match up. Ridgeline's got size. They've got good play from a lot of their players, but Skyview just seems to be that much better. And maybe if they rematch, that'll be a little closer, because maybe they won't have a second quarter like they did. But it just feels it's kind of just slightly less exciting in terms of how this region will play out, because there's still exciting games. I mean, we had 2 of them this week.
Yeah.
But in terms of the drama for who's going to be the best team, it seems to be dying down, because it seems like Skyview is just completely separating itself from the pack.
Yeah, I mean, last week, when region play opened last week, we thought that it was going to be an exciting start, and every game was really not that close. and then we've had this week where we've had a little bit more closer, more competitive contests. And besides that Skyview Ridgeline game, they've been really fun, close, and it's pretty even. I mean, that's what's going to be exciting about how region continues to play out, is just how balanced this region is outside of Skyview at the top, who really does seem to be separating from everybody else.
Yeah, it seems like potentially anybody in the middle can just beat up. So the fight will be mostly for maybe second place, or at least not finishing in the bottom half, because Mountain Crest, Logan, Ridgeline, Bear River, they're all teams that you could conceivably see finishing second. Ridgeline probably the favorite among those to finish second. Of course, Green Canyon, despite the fact they're now 0-3 in region, and they're 3-11 on the year, they went toe-to-toe with Mountain Crest. Dang near beat them. And they were going toe-to-toe with Logan in Logan, and very much had a chance to win that game. So we know Green Canyon, it seems to be finishing games for them. That seems to be an issue potentially. But we know they've got talented kids. Jared Anderson, he put up 28 points last night.
Yeesh.
Isaac Filamahala, he put up 28 points the other night. This is a team that can get out there and go toe-to-toe with teams. They'll probably struggle to finish, and so because of that, they'll probably end up having an underwhelming record. But you got to watch out for them, because they'll catch you.
Yeah. No, you can't overlook anybody in this region. Even though their record is not what they would want it to be, they're still very competitive and down to the wire in a lot of these games.
Yeah. There'll be some more exciting matchups. We'll look forward to the Logan Mountain Crest rematch. Obviously, the Logan Green Canyon. I'm just going to list off all the Logan games I'm excited for. But obviously, we'll see if Ridgeline Skyview rematch ends up being something. Logan Ridgeline will be certainly one to watch, because we'll see just maybe how far ahead Ridgeline is of the rest, because we know Ridgeline right now seems to be behind Skyview based off the one game. But there's a feeling that Ridgeline is at least a clear number 2. But right now, Logan, they're fighting for that number 2 spot as well, where they've beat Mountain Crest and Green Canyon, and then they've lost to Skyview. But if Logan can knock off Ridgeline, then suddenly there's a different number 2 in Region 11.
Yeah, so pretty exciting to see how this is going to continue to play out. And we got some exciting girls basketball games going on tonight too. And one of the exciting, probably one of the top games that you could look at for the year, really getting it started for us, and that's Skyview and Ridgeline squaring off in girls basketball in Smithfield, where this Ridgeline girls basketball team is undefeated. Skyview has played really well in girls basketball as well. And Hurricane John Newbold is going to be out there calling the play-by-play on Cache Valley Daily and 107.7 KLZX tonight.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a game that I'm going to watch. I won't be able to go to it because my dad's coming up here to visit, so I won't go to the game, but I'll at least try and watch the game. And I'll be keeping a close eye on as many of these games as I can, the girls' games. But yeah, this is 1-2 in RPI. Ridgeline's still the clear favorite because they're number 1 on the RPI, but actually a pretty decent margin ahead of Skyview in terms of the value they rank based off of. So we'll see. This is kind of what we had last night of could Ridgeline maybe unseat Skyview as a favorite, or at least show that they're mortal. That's even more the case tonight, except the roles are reversed. Ridgeline's 14-0. They look unbeatable. They have a superstar guard in Emily Skinner. They have the makings of a team that can end up going undefeated all the way through the 4A championship. This is one of those games where you feel like, okay, is Skyview good enough to unseat Ridgeline? And it's at Skyview, so it's about as good an opportunity as you're going to get if you're, looking at games for Ridgeline to potentially lose. So this may be it as far as will Ridgeline lose the game this season.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun one. And we'll just the first of several girls basketball game of the week that we're going to be doing here on the Cache Valley Media Group. It'll be video streamed on Cache Valley Daily. You can listen on the radio on 107.7 KLZX. We'll have links to listen and watch and follow along on CacheValleyDaily.com as well. So fun to see what's going on with these games. And by the way, if you missed last night's games, if you were at one or wanted to see what another one could be or how it turned out, because we've talked about some close finishes and some pretty exciting games last night, you can go back and check out our scoreboard page or just go check out the Cache Valley Daily and go to the sports and the go to the local prep sports page, and you'll see the live links, the live streams. You go back and watch those again, see the photo galleries of those games from last night. And we even have some photo galleries of some wrestling that took place yesterday. So,
so there's your wrestling content.
Trying to highlight a lot of different sports going on. And so anyway, you can go check that out. A lot of different stuff there. Full Court Press text line. Want to make sure you have a chance to chime in, 435-339-0321. And 9315 texts in, that's spastastic for the Jazz, I guess. Is that about the looks like that may have come into the time when we were talking about the name change.
Yeah, that's about what we were talking about with the name change. So I don't know. Or if it was them playing the Nets tonight.
Yeah, not sure.
Which
thanks, 9315.
I wrote a Jazz preview about the Jazz game for one of the blogs I write for, and I completely forgot to mention in that preview that Royce O'Neal is coming back to play the Jazz. I mentioned that Ben Simmons was going to be playing against the Jazz for the first time since 2021, but I was like, oh yeah, Royce O'Neal, who was here for how long with the Jazz? He's coming back to town.
That's true.
That might be worth mentioning.
Will they do a tribute video for Royce O'Neal?
You bet they will.
I mean, was he that big of an impact player?
He was a starter for several years. He was here as long as Donovan was. Like that, they were a package deal. And he was obviously a role player, but he was, he certainly had a big role. I guess he was starting for the team. He was one of those rare diamond in the rough. You find a guy who's capable of starting for a playoff team. He was an undrafted free agent. Granted, he was probably playing out of his role for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude is a 6'4", probably best a small forward in terms of his skills because he wasn't really good enough to play shooting guard in terms of his ball handling. But trying to make that guy play power forward, make him bulk up, wasn't as quick to then guard like they then try to have him guard like guards and small forwards, and it's like, well, he wasn't quick enough to do that anymore because he made him bulk up so he could occasionally guard power forwards. They'd put him on like Anthony Davis. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
giving up like 1.5 feet in standing reach to Anthony Davis. You're trying to make him guard him?
He definitely had energy, and he was, besides Rudy Gobert obviously protecting the rim and his defensive abilities, he was Utah's best non-Rudy Gobert defender, if you put it that way. And, he spent a lot of years as a starter, playing a significant role for Utah in their multiple playoff runs. So I'd be surprised if they don't have a tribute video. But do we have very many great Royce O'Neal moments in Utah history? Or is he just one of those guys that was there and kind of around? It's not like Bojan, who hit multiple game-winning shots, or Rudy, who swatted, a lot of shots and all defensive player and NBA Defensive Player of the Year multiple times, and Donovan Mitchell, multiple-time All-Star. Royce didn't have any of those accolades, but he did start here for a long time and began his career here. But I just wonder what kind of Royce O'Neal moments would they show on the tribute video tonight?
Well, they just show highlight reels of him hitting threes and dunking, because that's all he ever did, or steals and fast breaks and such. Which, for a tribute video, you don't need to show list off all his accolades because he doesn't have any. Did he maybe make all rookie? Oh, no, he didn't. Usually you can make all rookie if you play. If you play as a rookie, you can sometimes make all rookie. But I didn't quite do that. So you don't necessarily have to list on a PowerPoint on a tribute video all that he did. You just show a bunch of highlights. You note the fact that he played 370 games for the Jazz, started 230 of those, and, was part of some of the best teams in recent Jazz memory, or some of the best teams in Jazz history. So just a tribute video. The dude spent, how many, 5 seasons with the Jazz? That's not a ton of time, but the dude still, this, all he knew was Utah, and he gave a lot to Utah. So give him a tribute video. He's not going to get the same rousing ovation that Mitchell or Gobert would have gotten, but he deserves something.
Is he starting for Brooklyn?
Yes, he is. He's started 41 games, so it seems like he may have missed a couple for whatever reason. I think the Nets have played 44, but yeah, he's started every game he's appeared in. He's averaging career highs in points, assists, rebounds, minutes, 3-point percentage. So he's doing all right.
Yeah. Look, he's a solid player. I thought there were stretches where we used to joke, I wished I could clone multiple Royce O'Neals to have on the floor for Utah.
You never need more than one Royce O'Neal on the floor at a time.
Just because of his hustle, certainly he would shy away from shooting. He needed to be better about that. But it was a time where Utah needed more guys who could defend on the wing, and they wouldn't. But these two franchises coming into this game, Brooklyn and Utah, kind of on different paths. Utah's won 4 of the last 5, trying to turn some things around here lately, whereas Brooklyn has lost 4 of their last 5, and they're actually coming into this game with on a 4-game losing streak. So I know there's been some injury issues with Brooklyn, but I think they're supposed to have a full roster tonight.
Durant is listed as out.
Oh, he is out. Okay.
So aside from him, the only other guy on their injury report is the guy who's a two-way. Because for some reason they list two-way guys on the injury report if they're down in the G League.
Which doesn't make sense.
So Johnny Juzang and Micah Potter are on Utah Jazz's injury list.
It's dumb.
But they probably played. All those guys probably have played within a couple of days because they're with the G League team, whatever G League team they're affiliated with. But yeah, so Kevin Durant is the only one out for the Nets, and I believe Kelly Olynyk is the only one out for the Jazz. So the Jazz will be at mostly full strength. They'll just be missing, obviously, one piece of their center rotation. The Nets, obviously, will be very incomplete because they're missing their, all-NBA forward. But they still do have Kyrie Irving, who's been playing. He's actually been playing this season.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, he's got like 30 or something games, so he's still doing the old load management. But he's not been as efficient this year, at least from three. But dude's still Kyrie Irving. He can go off for 40. Then, as I mentioned, Ben Simmons making his return to Utah. First time, I think, in like 688 days he's played the Jazz. So, yeah.
Wow.
He's a lot different than he was back then.
That's true.
Because in 2021, one of like his last appearance, last time facing the Jazz, he had a typical game, but it was the game before that, in February of 2021, that he put up 42 points on the Jazz.
Oh, my word.
He's not done that this year.
It may take him like weeks to score that many points.
Yeah, I think his season high this year is 20. This is a dude who once averaged 14, 15 points a game, and he's averaging that triple single.
So we got to take another time out here on the Full Court Press, but we can get more into the matchups tonight. Utah Jazz, what's on the line, kind of what the standings look like throughout the NBA. An interesting showdown in the Mountain West tonight, and we'll look at that and how that could affect the standings. And Utah State getting ready for San Jose State. Aggies face the Spartans tomorrow afternoon. We'll preview those matchups as well and kind of see what the different trajectories of those teams going into that game. And also love to hear from you on our Full Court Press text line 435-339-0321.
The Cache Valley Media Group Home and Garden Show presented by Anderson Seed and Garden is March 24th and 25th. As a business owner, you can visit with, invite, and explain to thousands of potential customers how your business can help. How else are you going to come in contact with several thousand people in only 2 days? The Cache Valley Media Group Home and Garden Show at the Eccles Ice Center. Google Cache Valley Home and Garden Show for details or call 752-1390 for more.
Experts tell us that the 3 areas of balance for proper health are exercise, nutrition, and sleep. This is Ryan, owner of My Mattress, and while My Mattress store can't really help with exercise and nutrition, we can help with better sleep. If a person started today to live a balanced life in health, exercise, and sleep, 3 things might happen. 1, we might throw away the bag of peanut M&Ms that we have stashed. 2, we might get up off the couch and exercise. And 3, we'd come buy a new mattress here at My Mattress.
They say diamonds are a girl's best friend, particularly when she's thinking of marriage. When it comes to this important decision, visit S. Needham Jewelers in historic downtown Logan. We have been the part of thousands of happy engagements. You'll enjoy our vast selection of beautiful and unique engagement rings. You'll also enjoy our relaxed and elegant environment. You'll not be hurried and you'll feel no pressure as you have fun looking for the perfect ring. Where Utah gets engaged. S. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Nothing compares to the warmth and feel that a wood stove provides. The 2-time Best of Northern Utah winning team says there's never been a better time to replace your old inefficient wood stove and install a new energy-efficient EPA-certified Vermont casting wood product in your home. The U.S. government is offering federal tax credits of 26% on your wood stove install. For Vermont casting units, that includes stoves, venting, and labor. Call or email Advanced Fireplace and Stove for a free in-home estimate. Call 435-752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
The Doug Gottlieb Show.
Is there a doctor here?
Listen.
Here's Aaron Rodgers talking about this weekend's game.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Just because you don't know what the future holds.
If you're the Packers, you sit there and go, here we go again. And I will also be honest with you, he's answering a question of it being his last game at Lambeau Field. I don't know why Aaron does this.
The Doug Gottlieb Show.
Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Eric France and Jason Walker here on the Full Court Press. 435-339-0321 if you want to chime in on the Full Court Press text line. We're talking about high school hoops. We got our girls basketball game of the week coming up later on tonight on 107.7 KLZX. This will also be video streaming on CashValleyDaily.com. Hurricane John Newbold will be on the call as Skyview hosts Ridgeline. Should be an exciting ball game. If there's a chance for somebody to knock off the number one overall team in the state, it's going to be tonight in Smithfield. But Ridgeline has been pretty dominant in their performances thus far and have not lost a game yet.
Yeah, it's just sometimes there's high school teams that just have a level of dominance that you don't beat. We saw that with the Mountain Crest girls soccer team. They were just too good for the mere mortals of 4A. They ended up going undefeated. They didn't go undefeated. They went undefeated against 4A teams and just blew out everybody. Nobody even came close.
Yeah.
I don't think they allowed. I think the other thing was I don't think they allowed a single goal to 4A teams.
I think they're right. Yeah.
So it was just absurd. Ridgeline, obviously it's hard to compare dominance between two different sports like that, but still, undefeated is undefeated. And they have the best player in 4A, or at least in Region 11. I haven't checked to see what other players are in 4A aside from the girls in Region 11. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that you have a team that's this far ahead of everyone, because without them there'd be a lot of drama and excitement, because there's some good teams. Green Canyon's really good. Skyview's really good. Mountain Crest got some exciting players. So does Bear River. There's a lot of exciting players and games going on in girls basketball. Again, it's kind of like with the boys. Like, Skyview's just that good. It's a little disappointing. It's nice to see that good at basketball, but there's a part of me that just wants to see the drama of who's going to win Region 11.
Right. No, that's true. That's true. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Coming up later on this evening, pregame at around 6:50 and tip-off at 7. You can watch the game on CashValleyDaily.com or listen on 107.7 KLZX. We've mentioned the Utah Jazz. They're in action tonight. We'll have that broadcast here on The Fan. Pregame at 6:50, tip-off at 7. Utah taking on the Brooklyn Nets. And the first game back for Royce O'Neal. And look, that's somebody who'll be cheered. There won't be any boos for Royce. He was non-controversial.
If you dislike Royce O'Neal, just why?
Yeah. I mean, he never said anything bad. He never acted in an inappropriate way.
Like the only way you would dislike Royce O'Neal is if in real life he's a jerk and you met him. But that's a big if. Like, that's an if he's a jerk. Like, I don't think he is. He seems like a nice guy. It's like, why would you hate him? There's like no reason to hate him unless he's secretly a jerk.
Right.
That's the only possible solution to hating Royce O'Neal, which I don't think anybody does.
I've not heard of any, but again, I've not had any personal interactions or with anybody who has had their own personal interactions with Royce. But yeah, I would imagine there would be a nice, warm welcome tonight for Royce O'Neal. Would expect him to start, but this is a Brooklyn team that's struggling right now, and they've got some losses to some kind of mediocre teams. And so they're missing not having Kevin Durant, and that's where Utah can really kind of, I think, attack, where Lauri Markkanen would be the guy who would normally go up against Kevin Durant. That would have been an interesting matchup. I would have liked to see Lauri versus Kevin, because they're similar archetypes about how they play in the positions and how they play the game. But
wouldn't necessarily say that.
Well, just in that they're big, long 7-footers who can dribble, attack the rim, but also shoot from outside the arc.
That's fair.
So Kevin Durant certainly has a better mid-range game and probably can create his shot a little bit better than Lauri can.
Yeah, he's more ball dominant. That's the main difference. Because if you look at, they both shoot, they're both 7 foot, they both attack the rim. The main difference is Lauri has a almost criminally low usage rate. He's actually incredibly unique in how little he actually touches the ball and how much he scores. It's kind of Klay Thompson-esque.
Yeah.
Kevin, much more of an isolation scorer. Lauri doesn't do isolation. That's kind of the main difference. Yeah, Kevin, he's missed 4 straight games, and we already mentioned the Nets are on a 4-game losing streak.
Yes.
So
a few times.
Bit of correlation there. I don't know if it's
good.
causation. But yeah. And they've lost by double digits, and they lost by double digits to Oklahoma City, but I think in that game, Kyrie and Ben Simmons were also sitting. So they were without basically everyone against Oklahoma City.
I mean, they're still in a solid spot in the standings. They're the number 4 team in the East, 27-17 overall. Utah is 24-24. They're right at 500, but they've they had that slide where they were really competitive in a lot of games, and they were losing by single possessions on a lot of these games. But now the last little bit here, starting to turn some things around and winning some close games and winning by some healthy margins even. And now they've climbed back up and regaining some of their own confidence and how to close games out. And they are favored tonight.
Yeah, they're favored by, well, last I checked it was, 6? Is it still at 6?
I think it was 5.
Oh, that's 5. Maybe I misread it when I was looking at my screen earlier. I thought it said 6. Just too similar. But yeah, the Jazz they're gaining momentum. They've got some guys healthy. They got, Markkanen, he's back playing more consistently. We'll see what happens when we get Olynyk back. It'll be interesting with the way Markkanen's been playing. If the Jazz decide to put Olynyk on the bench and have the kind of Vanderbilt-Olynyk front court be the bench unit. Whereas at the start of the year, that was the combination they were using to have 4 out, but have the 5, be the shooter. So it was an interesting lineup there.
Yeah, they may decide Kessler inserted into the starting lineup.
Yeah, because Kessler's been starting and they put Vanderbilt on the bench, they could still have the 4 shooters. They may just stay that way. They might not. Maybe they want to go back to having Markkanen play the 3 and then Vanderbilt to the 4 and Olynyk at the 5, but it seems to be working all right. So we'll see. And I like Kessler to keep starting because at this point I feel like why not? Just keep playing the kid.
Yeah. He's been fantastic.
Let him keep developing. Let him keep, seeing what it's like to be in the starting lineup. That's his future role. He's good enough to do it now. Just let him keep doing it.
Right. Give him the minutes, the exposure, opportunities to compete against different types of NBA teams, different types of NBA centers, different types of other players who may attack the rim in different ways. So it's all part of his learning curve.
Yeah. That's the big thing, like getting to play against a variety of really good players. Like coming off the bench, you're going to play some minutes against some of the better players. Then maybe you wind up playing against lesser players on the bench, which can be good for initial development. But now at this point, the guy's been facing some of the best. Win against Joel Embiid. Just let him keep playing. And if there's a game where he's just not handling it, okay, sit him on the bench and just get him out of there, learn from it, move on from there. But let him try.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no harm. No harm at all. So interesting to see what plays out tonight. And, again, we'll have a full play-by-play here on The Fan. Pregame at 6:50, tip-off at 7. The Brooklyn Nets in town, Utah, currently favored by 5. But I think Mike Conley, Kyrie Irving, that'll be an interesting one-on-one. Who guards Ben Simmons would be interesting to note for Utah.
At this point, you'd probably put. Well, it depends. I'd have to see what Brooklyn's starting lineup would be. They'll probably just switch on him, and then maybe Vanderbilt when he comes in. Maybe they'll try and put him on them, but I don't know. He's not really a scoring threat anymore, so it's just like guard everyone else.
Yeah.
You don't need to guard him.
He's still a distributor, though.
Yeah, that's it. Guard everyone else.
Yeah, and Nick Claxton's another one to watch out for. He's been doing some solid things for them in the center position. So
yeah, he's been a good rim protector. Good, he's their leading rebounder. Emerging center, probably underrated among centers, to be honest.
All right, we're going to take a timeout here in the Full Court Press. We'll get into Utah State taking on San Jose State. The showdown between the Aggies and the Spartans tomorrow afternoon. It's a 4:00 tip-off in the Spectrum. We'll continue to look at other things going on. There's a big showdown in the Mountain West tonight, and updated kind of standings right now throughout the Mountain West Conference. And the other things going on this weekend, love to hear from you also. 435-339-0321.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. What happens when an appliance breaks down and the cost of the repair is more than the appliance value? You're stuck with a service call charge at most places, not at Daryl's. With our exclusive Under One Roof loyalty program, we discount the service called diagnostic charge when you decide to buy new from us instead of the repair. That's the Daryl's difference, because service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple. I check with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
When you look at these NBA numbers, it's easier than ever to score in the NBA. Broussard could have a double-double with 15 points and 10 rebounds.
I do think I could go for 4 points in today's NBA.
I might even get a basket if Nancy Lieberman is guarding me, okay?
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Weeknights from 6 to 8 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
This is Nate Lamson with Valley Office Systems, your home team when local matters. Valley Office Systems is your local provider for all things office, copiers, printers, furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Cache Valley since 2007. Visit valleyofficesystems.com.
Reach the Sheriff's Department Civil Processing Division. Please hold where call is transferred to Sergeant David Chapman. Get me record.
This is Sheriff Chad Jensen. Fraudulent phone calls similar to this one have been received by many citizens in Cache County. The most common scams are asking for payment over the phone because of a lawsuit, civil bench warrant, or to post bail for a family member who has supposedly been arrested. They ask for payment in form of prepaid cards, gift cards, or money transfers, and if you do not pay, they threaten to arrest you. The Sheriff's Office does not take payment or ask for personal information over the phone. These types of scams often use internet phone numbers which are nearly impossible to track. If you receive a phone call of this nature, do not give out any personal information and hang up. Be cautious about the information you give out over the phone to make sure you are not the next victim of a scam.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
You know, we were talking about the Utah Jazz. Today is the last day that your vote counts for 3 votes for NBA All-Star voting. I already put mine in for Lauri Markkanen earlier today.
I don't vote for NBA All-Stars because I know it means nothing and that Jazz players will never win the fan vote, so I don't do it.
Oh, come on now, Jason.
Michael Jordan.
They need your vote.
Prime Michael Jordan, averaging 78 points a game for the Utah Jazz, would still lose the fan vote to literally anybody else. He loses to Andrew Wiggins or anybody playing on the Warriors. Because that's how the fan vote is.
It's a popularity contest. Not really based on who the real performing stars are through the first half of the NBA season.
No, it isn't. Like I said, when Andrew Wiggins was an all-star last year, it was a joke. It was a complete and utter joke.
He was a good player.
Not an all-star. There's a difference. Mike Conley's a good player this year. Doesn't mean he's an all-star this year.
No, that's true. That's true. So anyway, your the fan voting will be ending soon, and your opportunity to for those of you who do want to vote,
those of you who still believe in the spirit of democracy in the NBA,
your vote counts 3 times today, and I'm pretty sure it's the last day for that. I think you can still vote through the next couple of days. I don't remember when the fan voting is cut off, but it's soon. It's coming up soon.
He said, "Don't pay attention. I'm not.
I think it's this weekend.
I'm not a source of information on this." There were some things I did see about voting for like the G League All-Star Game, although I think it's called something other than All-Star Game. And you can vote for all the different former Utah State players that are in there.
see
So you can go vote for that. That's something I can get behind. Because then they actually maybe have a chance to win that one. Maybe Ishketa might be able to get into that. Maybe Justin Bean. I haven't checked up on Sam Merrill's numbers. I imagine he's doing all right in the G League.
Yeah, well, he had a game the other day where he made 6 3-pointers.
Let me look up his G League stats.
While you do that, a couple texts coming through. 9315 with some interesting jokes. We'll say that. Why do Spartans hate waking up early? Because dawn is tough on Greece. Where's my laugh track?
Ha, ha, ha.
What do you call a gassy geek? A fartin' Spartan.
Probably make gassy Greek.
Probably gassy geek Greek. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, 5338, thank you for texting in so we have something else.
Something other than dad jokes about Greeks.
Players of the week, Andy Murray and Thanasi Kokkinakis for finishing their Australian Open match at 4 a.m.
Were you up all that time?
Was that 4 a.m. our time? Or 4 a.m. there in Australia? I'm not familiar with this story.
That would be awkward.
That would be a long, long match. We'll see what we can figure out on that. I don't know the details on that one.
There's that one tennis match it was 10 or 12 years ago. But because of the rules, because a lot of times normally a set will go to a tiebreaker if they tie at 6 sets each, then they go to a tiebreaker and you go and one will win 7-6 in a tiebreaker set. But because of that particular tournament, they didn't do a tiebreaker set. So you had to win by 2 sets. And it went an insane number of sets. It was double digits. It might have gone close to the 20s, I think. I'd have to look at the details because I've kind of forgotten because it's so long ago. But it just went forever. It was 4 or 5 tennis matches worth of sets combined into one.
Wow.
So, yeah, kind of nuts.
Doing a little reading here. It was 5 sets. Murray overcame a 2-sets-to-love deficit stretched over an absorbing 5 hours and 45 minutes, ended at 4:05 a.m. Second longest in Australian Open history.
That's just 5 hours of tennis.
5 hours.
And I get there's a lot of that. There's a pause.
Almost 6.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of pausing and walking around. You're not constantly running the entire time, but still. Tennis is an incredibly draining sport. And to be, on edge for, 5 hours with this whole thing, and not much more than a couple moments rest, that's top tier athlete.
Well, I mean,
endurance.
So you don't start the match until, so that match didn't start until 10 o'clock? I mean, that's a late start period.
Yeah,
we
do.
Those poor people that had to work the sidelines, and the ball boys and the ball girls.
Okay, but at least they don't have to sprint around the court constantly. I get they have to sprint across the court once every, couple of plays. Every time there's a fault, they have to run across the court.
Oh my word!
The only danger of being a ball boy in tennis is taking a shot to the face or nuts. Other than that, you get to watch a tennis match for free. And get paid for it.
Yeah. Oh my word!
Or having an athlete accidentally hit the ball away and hit you in the face from point blank range.
She said, "Wow!"
That happens every now and again.
That'll leave a mark.
It's hi, I'm a professional tennis player. I can hit the ball really hard. Wham!
5338, 4 a.m. Australia time, and I thought college football games were going too long.
Yeah, tennis matches can go incredibly long, and baseball games. Those are the two kings of we can go on forever if you want.
Yeah, you're not playing against the clock.
Yeah, it's just there is theoretically a limit on how long you can stretch out a football game or a basketball game. There was that one 6 overtime NBA game back in I think it's the 50s or something.
That's insane.
It was very riveting because for 3 or 4 of those overtimes, the one team stood there the entire time holding the ball. until the clock drained down.
Oh, my word.
Riveting stuff, I know.
Wow. Glad I would have paid for good money to watch that. 9315, those jokes were in lieu of USU playing the Spartans in basketball.
Yes, you tell.
Okay, thank you, 9315. Dad jokes. Yeah, but this Andy Murray, 5 hours and 45 minutes. So, I mean, you're supposed to turn around and play the next day, or the day after that.
I hope they at least some rest, because in tennis you have to get rest. Like, you can't be playing day after day of like professional level tennis. Like high schoolers, okay, they can probably do 2 days in a row. But at this point, like, give the guys some rest. 5 sets, nearly 6 hours.
And apparently he had another game that went like 5 hours. It's insane. No, thank you.
So there was I'm looking it up, and I think I found the one I mentioned where it like went a ton of games. There was in 2010 Wimbledon, there was a match that went for 11 hours and 5 minutes. But I think they paused it because it says it took 3 days to do the match. An 11-hour match.
That is nuts. So apparently Andy Murray, he came back to the park 8 hours after his 5-set match. So he went home, rested, and he came right back.
Jeez.
That's insane. And he's 35 years old, and he has a metal hip. It's bionic man.
Yeah. So the one match I was talking about where like, so most tennis sets, you know, you can go 6-0 if you sweep, and you can go up to 7-6 at the most for most of them. So the final set in this match that went 11 hours, the game total was 70-68.
Oh my gosh.
Just like 10 sets worth of tennis. And it was one set.
Nobody's backing down.
No, they didn't.
Wow.
So I guess the tiebreaker thing only accounted for the last set because one of their other sets, or two of their other sets, went 7-6. But the final set, apparently they wouldn't do a tiebreaker for the final sentence. They played 138 games for one set.
Oh, my word. That's insane.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We need to take a break. I need to collect myself.
And get a drink of water.
Yeah, and get a drink of water. More on the Full Court Press coming up next.
Experience Sunday brunch at Prodigy Brewing on Center Street. Churro French toast, beignets and berries, and everyone's favorite chilaquiles. A delicious combination of eggs, house-made enchilada sauce, tortilla chips, avocado, and pico. Brunch has an all-new meaning of tasty when you visit Prodigy Brewing. Served Sundays 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Prodigy's atmosphere is vibrant, energetic, and friendly. Whether it's with family or friends, Sunday brunch at Prodigy Brewing is a delicious experience. Prodigy Brewing, exceptional food, extraordinary service, and family-friendly on Center Street in downtown Logan.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
It's cold outside, but you can keep warm inside with a quality-built, super-efficient York furnace. Count on a furnace from York because it's backed by the strongest warranties available. It's just another way we install confidence. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 752-7272. Online at advancedheating-ac.com. York, install confidence.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
It's that look in her eye when you get the first sign.
We make it personal, you know when it's real.
Something for everyone. We
This is The Herd.
Attention listeners.
With Colin Cowherd.
So the Sean McVay story is very interesting. I want to step back and have a life. I think McVay feels at times a little underappreciated. He saved the quarterback. He saved the franchise. It was a boring, unwatchable mess. And I think he wants a little more power, a little more say in personnel.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan. It doesn't matter who you root for. The Full Court Press has all the high school sports covered. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Welcome back to Full Court Press. 9315 sent the clip of the Seinfeld episode when Kramer he takes a turn as a ball boy.
I think I saw a clip of that. I never watched much Seinfeld. Did he get hit in the nuts in that show?
He totally disrupted the match because he's too big.
Yeah,
he's chasing down the ball, and he kind of trips up and gets caught in the net, and he's knocking over the tennis players, as Kramer would do.
Yeah, it's a comedy show. You got to do something stupid.
Yes. I had when you were talking about it, that was actually those scenes were actually playing out in my mind.
You're probably not alone in that. There's probably a lot of people imagining that.
But I can't imagine any sport sitting there and watching any particular sport for 5 hours and 45 minutes.
No, it's.
I mean, that's a marathon on top of a marathon.
Yeah, you just. There's very few things that I'll sit there and watch for 5 hours. I grew to very much dislike marching band because I had at least going to marching band competitions because I had a couple brothers that did those, and I went to like every one of their competitions, and they go on like all day, and we'd watch like 2 or 3 hours. It's not even 5 hours, like 2 or 3 hours worth of people walking all over a football field, just so that I could watch the 6 minutes of my brothers walking around on a football field. And that's if I could figure out where they were.
On top of this, just how long it was, it's like when it happened. Like, it's in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah, this is
like, I get it if it's like between like 11 o'clock in the morning, stretch it out to like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because you could, maybe walk around, grab a bite to eat, keep your eye on things. But this is when we should all be sleeping.
Yeah, because then you're tired in trying to watch a sporting event. And I don't know if tennis is one of those events you can fall asleep at. I nearly fell asleep at a baseball game once because that's just how baseball games are. It's a more relaxed environment, which there are positive aspects to that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a relaxed environment, but
no.
It's kind of like there's that one baseball game that went like 20 innings or something, or there have been multiple of those. But
yeah, that's true. They've had to push them off to the next day.
Yeah. So we're calling it. It's 3 a.m. I'm done.
Those poor grounds crew people.
Yeah, they got to keep going out there. Like, if it's going to extra innings, they got to keep going out there and do it. And then after the game, all right, it's 3 a.m. Go out there and clean it. Be back here at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning so we can do this again. Prepare for tomorrow's game.
Hey, Bob. Sorry, I thought you were going to be able to go home and sleep in your bed tonight, but we got to keep you here.
It's like, nope.
Got to empty the trashes and get it ready for the next day.
Put a mattress in the dugout. Go sleep on it.
Gosh.
Good luck.
Oh, word. Wow. So thank you, 5338. That's crazy. Thanks for tuning us into that. I was not aware of that marathon tennis match in Australia.
That's why some people say that because the men play the 5 sets or best of 5, and the women only play best of 3. I'm probably more in favor of the best of 3. Just keep it short.
Just move it along.
You don't need to play 5 sets of tennis.
Oh, wow. Coming up next hour, we'll get into Utah State and San Jose State, Aggies and the Spartans, and what's on the line on this game. What do kind of the paths that both teams have been on getting to this point. We'll look at what other games are going on throughout the Mountain West. A big one tonight in the conference. We'll look at how that could affect the standings and what's at play there. Other things going on this weekend, the NFL divisional games are taking place, so the NFL playoffs. Certainly Utah Jazz have an interesting weekend ahead. And a big showdown tonight with the Brooklyn Nets coming into town. As they're starting to get things back on track, can they continue that? Or are they going to start to regress back to where they were before? So a lot of different things to discuss. And we got high school hoops as well. We had some exciting games last night, some interesting games tonight for girls basketball on the schedule also, which ways you can follow along and watch at least one of those games on CashValleyDaily.com later on this evening. So stay tuned. That's all coming up here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan. We're also streaming on 1069thefan.com. And you can also find us on the 1069 The Fan mobile app. Download it, take it with you wherever you are. Listen to our shows live when we're on the air, or go back and listen to past episodes when we've had bonus audio and bonus content with our Light the A podcast. Stick around, a lot more to come next hour here on The Fan.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Lamar Jackson's one of the more fascinating athletes in all of football. The QB is a former MVP, won the Heisman in Louisville, and has led the Ravens to multiple playoff appearances during his 5-year career. Despite Jackson's impressive resume, the QB has struggled to reach a contract extension with the Ravens. But yesterday, the team made it very clear they have no plans to let Jackson out the door. It's been reported Jackson will have a say in the team's search for a new offensive coordinator. And head coach John Harbaugh even stated there is a 200% chance Lamar is Baltimore's quarterback moving forward. At first glance, the team's support seems like a great first step, but the Ravens' statements yesterday are giving way to a tremendous amount of negotiating leverage to Jackson. And without a long-term deal in place, it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the two parties as we head off into the offseason. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.